The sky is looking ominous once again for stage 3 of the Tirreno Adriatico. Temperatures around 12 Celsius at the beginning of the day would actually fall to around 9. Well, our minds, of course, cast back to Alaphilippe's victory, and the man who would not forget that, Mathieu van der Poel, who finished in his wake and was very upset with himself. Van Aert, taking the opening stage, still remains in the leader's jersey by a margin of 4 seconds over Alaphilippe at the start of stage 3, destination Tirreno. Well, some lumps and bumps at the beginning of the stage, but some wide open spaces as well. Ultimate destination in Gualdo Tirreno meant that it was a technical finish and indeed an uphill ramp to deal with as well. Big climb of the day, dead centre and centre of our thoughts, at least at the beginning, with a breakaway. Brave you had to be, and it was a quality break that found itself out front by a margin of over 9 minutes at one point. Marc Pardon had started the move for Bahrain victorious, and he was joined by Davide Bais, brother of Mathieu, who led the Young Riders competition earlier on, Ludvigsen of Groupama, Boivin from Israel Startup, and Nicky Terpstra as well was in the mix. Well, if it was to be a fast man's finish, it would not include, unfortunately, this man. Caleb Ewan, unfortunately ill. He has gastroenteritis and has decided to step off the bike. Stepping up the pace, Mathieu van der Poel carrying his anger from yesterday, and indeed the opening day as well. Stage he thought he should have contended with, and Alpecin Phoenix coming up to help out the chase work, being engaged much of the day by Jumbo-Visma, of course, and the leader, Wout van Aert. With 93 kilometres to go, the breakaway was starting to lose their advantage. Still out front, Davide Bais it was that took some mountains points on behalf of his teammate Vincenzo Albanese, who was struggling today. He remains in the lead of the mountains competition, that green jersey, carrying that into stage 4 tomorrow. While the pace changes were down to the crosswinds that bedeviled the day, some wide open spaces in the less protected areas meant that it was a cross tailwind as we headed due east between the two seas. Much of that distance eaten up on this day with 219 kilometres. It was a long one. The intermediate sprint was sponsored by Yolo Cometa, and as a result David Bais felt duty bound to get up and snaffle those points. The breakaway destined to fail, and with 15.6 kilometres remaining it was in sight. Big turn at 10 kilometre mark meant that the cross tailwind would turn into a full-on side wind in the approach, and it was a nervous time back in the pack with so many just huddled together wondering when to make their move. Well, the breakaway had had their fun for much of the day. They weren't chasing them down, and as it started to fracture, Tobias Ludvigsen, one of the first to be caught by the pace being set now to Koenig Quickstep up front. In the middle of the pack, touch of wheels, and unfortunately many a challenge for the day was ended right here. Too many riders, not enough road space unfortunately, and some of them just found themselves tasting tarmac. So too many options on display. It was thinning down, quality will out. An interesting stat that whenever a race is started by Van der Poel, Alaphilippe and our leader Wout van Aert, one of them wins. Well, so far, Van Aert won stage 1, Alaphilippe stage 2. Who would win this time by? Roll of the dice by Zenix Dibar for De Koenig Quickstep. He went off the front. Alaphilippe just eased up a little bit, playing a great card and forcing a big move from Wout van Aert in the leader's blue jersey. He went through, followed by Mathieu van der Poel. He stuck on his wheel. A lot of effort then had to be instilled by Wout van Aert at this very crucial stage. He did catch Dibar and then went round him. Unfortunately for him, so did Mathieu van der Poel, and the relief and happiness of winning this day was palpable. A cathartic moment for Mathieu van der Poel. He moves into second place, still 4 seconds behind Wout van Aert after bonus seconds were factored in. The great rivalry continues. Well, with Adriatico still to come, Van der Poel has now got the race or stage victory he was hoping for. Van Aert in second place ahead of Ballerini, Higuita, Van Avermaet, De Boist and the rest. Great work by that man. Wout van Aert out top, out front with a margin of 4 seconds over Van der Poel. Julian Alaphilippe in third place, ahead of Mikkel Landa. Much of the field at 20-second margin. This is what we're dealing with tomorrow. It's a short stage, 148 kilometres, destination Adriatico. Whether Mathieu van der Poel will live up to the billing and not really treat this day as a priority, we shall see. Now he's got his stage win. Stranger things have happened, though. It's going to be a great battle, that's for sure. It always is on this race.